I never had to worry about this, but this is how I would handle things at Thanksgiving or anything political with family. I mean, the fact that you can't get together because you don't share the same political beliefs is kind of ridiculous, I think. Uh, if you truly are a family, then you will put that stuff aside and just, kind of get along if you really do care about each other. This shouldn't be a problem because the thing is there should be debate, there should be disagreement. Not everybody should sit here and just like agree with everything that everybody says. The thing is you have to have respect. So basically, I'm willing to get into any type of dialect with anybody. Just depend on the situation. Like when I'm somewhere like at work, I don't feel comfortable completely articulating myself because I have to filter myself, kind of like this. I have to filter myself. Um, so I to get my point across, I might have to say something that offends somebody, and then that could put me in HR just expressing the truth. People don't like the truth. People don't like truth tellers. Um, a lot of people like to live in their fantasy, and ignorance is bliss. I kind of like am envious of some people who live in complete ignorance, and that's fine. I think that's fine if like you don't want to pay attention to politics. That's cool. Have it, but just don't vote. That's my thing. Is like if you're not gonna pay attention and you don't care, then just don't participate in the voting process. But the Democrats, they want everyone to vote because they have control of the mainstream media, and that's how the normal person gets their information is through the mainstream media. Um, and it's hard to decipher what's true, what's not. So that's what's the good thing about community notes. The thing is, when AI takes over community notes, it'll be so much better. It'll be so much faster. And I'm not sure if they'll like relinquish that type of authority on X, but I just think that like AI will be able to look through everybody's posts like very quickly, and then be able to decipher, go through information off of like whatever it gets off the internet with Grok or whatever, and then it can just slap on community notes onto um, everybody's post. But the thing is, like, you should be able to rebuke, get the post taken off if you can prove that the AI is wrong or the community note is wrong. Um, I think that usually community notes are pretty spot on. I think it's pretty trustworthy. But the thing is, it's like you want to unbiased party judging, not somebody that could be influenced by political strategies or whatever, alternative motives. So, like how I would just like, if people want to talk about religion or politics, and those usually are like the off limit things that people don't want to talk about because people are like highly emotional about it. They're highly sensitive, and like for me, if somebody proves me wrong, that's cool. Like I get proven wrong all the time. Like one of the big things that I remember is I thought like um I had this old information from like at the time it was like a couple years, this perception of like we stopped drilling for oil, and we were um, you know and lo and be because of climate change, you put things together like, oh, we're trying to get rid of oil, we're trying to do this and that, and then like come and behold, like Biden's drilling quietly, like huge, and like, yeah, because that's not being put out there. So it's just like, yeah, there's some information that does change. You're like, oh, that's some new information. I didn't know that because I'm not an oil person. Like, my information might be a year out of date, and things can change rapidly. You don't even know. You have old information. It could even change quicker than that, the way that technology is evolving so rapidly. But it's just like, as long as like people just can respect me and like have a conversation without escalating it, it's like, yeah, we can talk, like have disagreements, and I can come across as, I just the problem is like when things escalate, like when people get too passionate about it, it's just kind of like, dude, we're trying to be here to be as a family and enjoy each other's company. Um, the thing with me is it's just so funny how um it's like, you're my family for this part of the year, and the rest of the year is just um uh, most families, like, I don't think that they don't. We've gotten to a point where we just like move away from our families. I don't live anywhere close to any of mine. My the pe my parents or anything like that. So it's like I'm completely independent. So um, when holidays come around, it's kind of like, hey, Merry Christmas. Like, we're a family now, but like the rest of the year doesn't matter. It's kind of, yeah, it's just kind of like fake to me. It's just like, I don't want to participate in that. I don't like phony stuff. You know what I mean? So, and then that's what it feels like with this society. It feels it's so phony. So I don't really want to participate in it. I think that a lot of people have had like false illusions of how things really are, and they try to like keep things as normal as possible, and they don't want to let on to like the struggle that they've been enduring this last 4 years. And I think it's pretty imperative for somebody like me's voice to be out here, because you don't have regular men or men at all really talking about their feelings, because they're, like, if you talk about your feelings, you look weak, and you don't want to look weak. So like, um, especially if you're trying to attract the opposite sex, like, you don't want to look weak. So it's, yeah, I'm trying to save this for the car ride, but I'm trying to car ride video. But yeah, I would just kind of like, you know, if I had to deal with that type of situation where I'm going to go to a family get together, and then there's like people who are hard leftists, I would probably try to not even talk about politics. I would probably try to avoid. I think the best thing people can do, the most common thing that you can do, if you don't know any subjects that people, the most neutral subject is like sports. Um, which is kind of funny. I don't know if this is true, but the NFL, like, the funny thing about the NFL is they fined Nick Bosa for wearing a MAGA hat on camera, but like these same people they had Black Lives Matter on their helmets a few years ago, um, and it's like, dude, you guys are the ones who are bringing politics into sports. And then I don't know if this is true, but then like there's a bunch of NFL players like doing the Trump dance, and they want to talk about, I don't know, somebody posted like they want to try to ban it or something. Like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, everybody should just wear MAGA stuff, and just like, what are you going to do if everybody's doing it? There's nothing that they can do. They're gonna fine everybody? No, they're just gonna like. It takes a strong individual to stand on their own with their own convictions and go against the herd. It's hard, man. This whole year living in Michigan, feeling that stigma, like how the media perceived MAGA as being like sexist, racist, homophobic, this and that. So like everywhere I go, I just have like, it felt like I'm wearing like some like white supremacists. Like that's how they paint us, and um for me, especially like when I was wearing it at work, is like I don't want to just like go up and talk to people, because like if I don't want them to have that social stigma if that's what's going on, that like, oh, I'm a racist, when I'm not. I'm just engaged politically, and I don't think that MAGA is racist at all. I think it's not very racist, like the left likes to perceive, like, and that's what's been pushed out here. um but it's hard, and then like now it's starting to catch on, that it's starting to get cool, and you're starting to see more celebrities come out. Like one of the cool things was when John Jones won his match and went out there and presented Trump the belt, and they had a handshake, and like that was a cool moment in the UFC. Having Elon sit there with Trump and RFK. Yeah, Mike Johnson's like tagging along. I think they're just keeping him along because he has a lot of power. So if something, like, obviously if something was to happen to Biden and Kamala, like he would take over as president. Um, and he's like one of these fake MAGAs who seems to be for like the Uniparty. I'm all for negotiation, but like the left, the Democrats have gone so far left as they're not reasonable at this point. You can't negotiate with people who are unreasonable. So they got completely embarrassed, and they're gonna keep getting embarrassed. I see like AOC looking at things, and when she's taking her pronouns out of her bio and talking about what's a conservative podcast? What do you mean, dude? Just start with Joe Rogan. Like, are you that like ditzy? Start listening to him. Like, start with Trump's interview with him, and then you can work with Elon. Like, what is your deal? It's not really that difficult to find prominent right-wing podcasters. Now it is on the left, so that is and that's something I was thinking about trying to tap in myself, is trying to be more left-wing moderate. Pretty much what I've always been, but a lot of people don't realize that the left has gone so far left, and actually the right has gone left too. They've gone left a little bit as well. Like if you think about it, MAGA is basically progressive conservatism, whatever. I'm tongue tied, so I can't say it. I don't know why it is. My brain doesn't connect sometimes, but um, I could definitely say the word. It's just that's probably because of like self-conscious insecurities, and like, I don't want to mispronounce it again and sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, which doesn't matter anyway. So it's just like AOC seems to like might get it, and I see a lot of left doubling down on their craziness. I had to mute this guy. Like, he kept showing up on my algorithm, and he just like every single post was calling MAGA fascists. It's like, dude, that's ridiculous. I mean, seriously, you're calling like America fascist. You're the problem. You are the problem, and this is why Trump got in there, because of people like you, because you're all unhinged and unreasonable. So, like, I think if the Democrats want to win, they're gonna have to reject these people, and then try to take the people off of that have gone towards the right, and it, like, why would you fight against Elon? Wouldn't you try to like try to persuade him back? I don't get that whole thing of trying to demonize like Trump. same thing. You're demonizing him, and he used to be left, dude. So it's just like he used to be Democrat. That's who these people are. They don't get it that like the Republican leadership is mostly former Democrats. They don't understand it. Uh, or like libertarian, like these people are basically liberals, man. Like and they've been rejected because the left has went so far, and the average person doesn't understand that. They don't get it. Um, but I think that like they have like this election has shown that some like there is a good a portion of people that do get it, and they just want things to be normal, man. They don't want violence. They don't want to think about politics. It's pretty much like, yeah, they want to know what's going on in the news and everything, but they don't want to have to worry about like capitals being overran. They don't like violence in the streets. They don't like go ahead and protest, but like you shouldn't be blocking roads, and there shouldn't be violence and riots on either side. Nobody wants that. The clashing, the demonizing of America. Like, if you hate this country so bad, if it's such a horrible country, then just why are you here? Get the fuck out. We don't want you. There's plenty of people that want to be here, that want to assimilate, that love America, that probably can be 1,000 more times productive than you are anyway. There was this AI that basically told this guy who's interacting with this AI bot to basically just like he's worthless, he's a drain on society, and he should just go ahead and, you know what I'm talking about, take a trip to Canada. If you understand that phrase and why I say it the way I'm saying it, because I'm on here obviously. Although I think that goes for monetization. I don't know what this whole. So I just don't want. I'm just trying to avoid strikes at this point. I don't care about monetization from YouTube. I just don't want my stuff removed. I don't want my channel banned over stupid crap. Me just talking the truth, man. Like, anyway. Yeah, like, why would it tell that person that, maybe that person, maybe it was correct in the assessment of the AI. Maybe that person should, like, change their life around. And that's the thing is, like, you can change, you don't have to follow the same path, and you can have some type of like independent opinion or idea instead of like always following the herd. um I know it's hard, and I know like you're putting yourself out there for um criticism, but or you could just keep quiet, I mean, and then live with whatever happens. uh but yeah, it's just the best thing people could do is just, if you can, the left is like trying to break up families, and I'm not gonna say that I'm like a choir boy, because like I was dead on about like if Trump lost and the Democrats retain power, I know exactly where we're going off a cliff, and the future was bleak anyway. So why don't I take out as many of their relationships as I possibly can until like we go off the cliff? It wouldn't have mattered. But now it's like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm not going to mess with people's relationships. Um, I've always tried to maintain some type of moral frame when it comes to that, where I don't want to do that. So, uh, I think that like, um, the left is absurd. They don't know. Hopefully they calm down. Hopefully they like the adults take over, and that's what the Democrats need is they need the adults to come back to the table and take leadership, and tell the little brats that it's bedtime. Tell them that they can't have another ice cream, because they're just children leading it. So you don't want children leading important, having important roles. Like I couldn't imagine if like my kids were a boss when they were like 5 of my household. Some people's are like that, and they don't know what they're doing. You can't just be friends with your kids. You have to be some type of authoritarian, uh, and tell them, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, you gotta be this, because they don't know any different. And if kids aren't taught morals, respect, values, and all this, then they're just gonna go ahead and be self-centered, not care about anybody else, not have lack empathy for other people. And you're going to see this more and more because there's been a lot of kids that have been raised in isolation. um, their parents don't have anything to do with them. They don't teach them a damn thing. They do everything for them. There's no independence. There's no um, letting them feel reality of how hard they just do everything for them. They pay their bills. These kids could be like 25 and they're still living at home, and their parents just pay for everything. They never had a job. They don't have, you know what I mean? It's just like, you're a failure as a parent if your kids are still living at home at 25, not doing anything with themselves. And you're continuing to enable that behavior, and that's what it is. It's enabling that behavior. So it's just a bunch of spoiled people, a bunch of spoiled kids. Um, part of the reason why I'm at where I'm at, because I wanted my kid to get toughened up. Um, I kind of did give it to them a little bit easy growing up. I did a lot of things for them. They might have played a little bit too much video games. Um, so I was kind of soft on them a little bit because of our situation of not having a mother figure in their life. So, and I want to make sure things are done right. I want to make sure like I'm eating off of a dish that's completely clean so no one gets sick. So yeah, I did pretty much did everything. So um, like I would have had an allowance thing is good, but when you were somebody like I was extremely poor, so I didn't have money to give my kids allowance. I had to I had to sacrifice my future basically. Um, like trying to invest any type of retirement, any of that crap into like providing now for my kids, making sure that I got them to be adults. Um, so yeah, I have a video that I'm going to be making for the car ride talking about um, Rollo Tomasi and feminism and women being held accountable, lack of father figures. I mean, it is what it is, but it's just something that um, I'm a feminist in this aspect of, if women want to, I don't think that women shouldn't vote. I think that that's ridiculous, because if you see all these dudes voting for the left and they're brainwashed, that's it comes down to being brainwashed. And that's what it is. So my whole thing is basically, you have to, if women want to be like us, you have to like let them fail, let them figure it out on their own, and let them come up with their own conclusion. Like, man, being a wife and a mother seems like a way better job than me having to do all this on my own, try to be the man of my life. If women want to do that, cool, but like, being a man is not all sunshine and roses. It's extremely hard. Nobody gives a damn about you. You have to create your own value, and you have to keep like fighting even when um, it seems hopeless. That's what it is. And nobody's coming to save you. You have to dig yourself out of the ditch. You have to dig yourself out of a hole. And a lot of women, they don't have to worry about that because they have their weak fathers continuously bailing them out all the time instead of letting them feel what it's like. It's like, yeah, if you want to do this, like there's this you have to deal with too. You got to take the good with the bad. You can't just have like everything great all the time. And that's where we're at. Is like women are, they live in a bubble because they don't have to live in reality. They don't have to live with the harshness of what it takes to be a man, the bad stuff. Women have their own struggles. I mean, they have to worry about like um, guys like I was, where I was pretty much just wanting to hook up and um, and they have to like try to decipher like who's worth it, um, who just wants to use them for their bodies, and it's like um, that's not easy, especially when you have all these people throwing themselves at you, and then you think your value is way higher than it really is. Um, they don't have it the easiest either. It's like when you have an abundance of something, sometimes it's hard to pick what's best for you, and then that's what you see with a lot of people who are overweight here in America, because they have so much to choose from that they just end up, well, it's a lot of it's because of the emotional eating, and they're trying to cover something up in the void. um, so it's traumas that they haven't dealt with. But it could be shopping, it could be gambling, it could be, sex, whatever. It could be anything. So uh, that's it.